So good morning, this is Carlos. Long time no speak. I'm on my way to work on Saturday morning. I think it's the 14th today. Yep.
Zone 1.
The 14th.
Distance 169.96 meters. Average heart rate 101. Workout average pace 11 minutes 41 seconds per kilometer.
Let me just turn her down a little bit, as long as I can hear her. Otherwise she's going to be deafening you. Well, today has been fraught with Plan B decisions. Plan A was to record with my Sony, and for some reason it won't. It tells me that its memory is full. So I'll have to check with my son when I get home. I think I might have to reset it or something. I have been playing around with putting in a micro SD card, but I took it out in case that was the issue, and it still wouldn't record. On my way on Johnson Street with my point and shoot camera, which has worked for me already this morning. Let me just take a photograph just to set the time and conditions for the blog people. That's what's nice about having blogs. You can post pictures of your episodes. But I'm sure my 20 or so listeners are well aware of all those intricacies of the interweb. I have to speed up a little bit. I've set myself an 11-minute target per kilometer to walk to Little Piggy's Catering. I'm going to be out for about an hour, and I think it's 6 kilometers, depending what route I take. I'm going to decide when I get to Johnson Street Bridge that by then I'll know what the time of day is and also how much further I have to go, because there are various routes that I can take at the end to close off this walk to work. And the reason it's a bus today is because it's rainy and I don't want to get either of my bikes wet. But I have noticed that ever since I've started riding a regular non-power assist bike, that I'm hungrier than usual. I'm having to keep up quite a lot of additional food intake, especially protein. Oh look, some cyclamen. How beautiful is that? Well, you will see there are 2 or 3 different colors of cyclamen, all clustered around a rather attractive tree. I hope this camera does that photograph justice.
Workout resumed.
Yep, looks good. Alright, so we're back to old school technology now. My point and shoot could even record video for us. That might be an idea when it gets a little lighter, to make a little video clip of walking over Johnson Street Bridge. It used to be called the Blue Bridge because it was painted blue and it was basically an iron structure. Steel, maybe steel. That's probably what it would be, not iron. it did open to let the boats through to the inner harbour or out of the middle harbour. Anyway, got to pick up a little bit of speed now.
Slower.
I'm hoping that Samantha is keeping you somewhat entertained. I can't hear her. Doesn't really bother me too much. When I'm walking, I'm not likely to be pushing the effort as much as when I'm race walking. But there is a different technique, the leg technique for race walking. To be legal, you have to have a straight knee. Most of us walk with a bended knee. It's more comfortable that way.
Workout average pace 11
Acts
minutes
as a
14
shock
seconds per
absorber.
kilometer. Slower.
But the straight knee gives you the maximum fulcrum, the largest, whatever it is, mechanical advantage. If you move your hips and straighten your heel and lift your toe, you get the full stroke. Unfortunately, there's a guy ahead of me who's a little bit slower than me, which means that either I change sides and walk on the other pavement, in the other sidewalk, or I stop talking for a little while. I think I'll
Distance
change sides.
722.76 meters. Average
We're
heart rate
that
94.
close in pace
Workout
that
average
it would
pace
take
11
me
minutes, 3
quite
seconds
a
per
while
kilometer.
to pass him as I cross to the other side. Next time I stop to take a photograph, you will be far away
Steady.
on the other side of the street. Oh, somebody's car, acknowledging their presence. Yep. It's nice having a regular bike. Yesterday I had to use both my bikes. My regular bike to get to work and back, and my e-bike to go and see my son in his apartment.
Slower.
Norma's gone to Ontario to visit her
Distance
sister, whose
818.62
birthday is
meters.
just coming up
Average
this
heart rate
weekend.
96. Workout average pace 10 minutes 58 seconds
think-
per kilometer.
Her sister is 70-something or other. She's about the same age as me. 75, I think, is Pauline's birthday year. And Norma's birthday is coming up this month as well. Got to remember hers. Anyway, so she's in Ontario. My youngest son, Zarin, is in Bolton in the UK. He's visiting his friend, his partner / friend. Basically, they've known each other for years on the internet, and now they're actually spending real time together, which is nice.
Distance 914.13 meters. Average heart rate 96. Workout average pace 10 minutes 55 seconds per
I
kilometer.
was listening to a podcast this morning about dating apps and how they've become less popular now.
Steady.
But there was a story of a couple, one from England and one from, I think it was Hong Kong, maybe, or Singapore, I think it is. And they got together and they're very happy. He went to visit her a few times, she went to visit him a few times. Did the old across the pond thing. I have to wait for the lights. So this is Johnson and Cook Street. I'm going to cross because there's no cars coming.
Workout resumed.
It's that early in the morning. It's probably about 7:15. No, it's not even 7. It's just coming up to 7 o'clock
Average heart rate 94.
on a Saturday morning as I stop to take another photograph of a building that I've looked past many times that has a glass fake wall at the front. It's kind of nice. It's above the fire hall. That's the fire hall. Let me take a photograph with my phone. The guy that was walking in front of me is a fireman. He's just gone in to work. Okay, now we've got a place for this relive story as I replace the phone in its pouch
Workout resumed.
inside my sweater.
Slower.
The other plan B decision I had to make was whether to walk or to run this part of my route. I mean, I have enough time to run it or walk it. It doesn't really matter exactly what time I get in, but the sooner the better. The sooner I get in, the sooner I can hand on the job to Chi, C-H-I-E, the Japanese girl who stands in for Rob and I when we're resting. She and I, well, she being her name and gender, she and I tend to share the day. She and I share the day. She's coming in at, I think it's noon. I should be finished by about 10:30, depending on when I start and how much they've left me from the night before. I looked in pretty good shape yesterday. So my new bike is, I would say, second after running as the best bang for my buck. I think running has to be top for calorie burn, followed by my gravel bike, followed by race walking, followed by mountain hiking, followed by what I'm doing now, pavement walking, and last of all, e-bike riding. The only activity where I get some assist from the battery. But overall, I use my e-bike now more like you guys use your cars to get my groceries, that kind of thing. If I'm schlepping, I will be on my e-bike because I can carry load. I can carry my groceries. I can even buy drinks, milk and what have you, mineral water, yogurt. That's basically my shopping list for today. Oh, I need sea salt as well. I get through quite a lot of sea salt, all the cooking that I'm doing. Yep. Downtown is really changing.
Steady.
Yeah.
Auto pause.
This is the camera that doesn't always make the beep when I take a picture.
Workout resumed.
Doesn't always click for me. The closer I get to downtown, the less unusual it is to see somebody talking to themselves. At this time of the day, they assume I've been out all night and I'm a street person. with some kind of mental health issues. But no, I'm actually recording a podcast, madam, I should say. But yeah, it's just the other thing you would see more of downtown, other than street people, is people going to work, and they quite often are talking on the phone, or in fact talking into their earbuds. I could have used that option on my recording here today, but I figured that it would be better not to. The sound quality is definitely better from the built-in microphone on the phone. I would think that I've talked for about 12 minutes so far. As I cross the next street, I will check my time, just so I have an idea. If the show is too long, it's not good, in my opinion. As I walk past the air vents, this is the bus that I would take going home if I was going home on the 27. That is the return bus on the route that I was just on. It's not the actual bus, because the actual bus I was on still has probably another 4 or 5 minutes before it reaches its destination, and then I don't think they send them straight out again. I think the driver gets a few minutes rest. Alright, so this is where I make some more clothing noise, checking my phone. "17 minutes and counting." I've always noticed that, the different sound of the birds, the closer I get to the ocean. Now we hear more seagulls than anything else. 17 minutes, so I reckon I will finish this recording when I get to Johnson Street Bridge, and then I'll film the trailer video and power walk my way to work. Just letting you hear a bit of the acoustic corridor that I'm in. Big buildings to my left and right, not high-rise, but sort of 2- and 3-story commercial premises, stores below and offices above. Yeah, this is basically the heart of Victoria right here. Johnson at Douglas. Yep, these people look as if they've been out all night.
All right, where are you gonna be in an hour or so?
Yeah, they're all making their negotiations. All the buses, all at once. I don't like standing at this corner for too long. All right, I can escape now. It's just crowds that freak me out, basically. I can't handle crowds anymore. I need my own headspace. Crowds are just so demanding. How can you ignore a crowd of people? I can't.
Distance 1.87
I can see Johnson Street Bridge now,
Average pace 10 minutes 41 seconds per
but
kilometer.
there's not a good shot just yet. I have a much better unobstructed view very soon. So this plan B day is beginning to pan out a little better. As one guy yells at me to stop and talk to him. I don't have time. I don't have any money either.
Solar.
I gave my money to the bus driver. I was going to use my phone app for the transaction on the bus, but it's not always seamless. Quite often I have to switch on cellular data for a moment as I access the internet to activate the code generator.
Average pace 10 minutes.
I guess they have to check that there's money in my account before they issue me with a code. But I gave him cash today. $5 is free transit for a day. Yeah. Well, unlimited, let's put it that way. Not free, you've paid $5. But I can, with my transfer ticket, I can scoot around on the bus if I have the energy or the desire to do so. As I stop to take another iconic photograph. Yeah, I think I've figured out how to get the camera to work a little more reliably. I should press the shutter lightly first for it to meter the conditions and then
Average heart rate 96.
press it.
Average pace 10 minutes 46.
That worked. It just goes to show how much better our eyes are than the camera lens or the capture mechanism, whatever it uses. I can see perfectly well here, but the camera has to decide if it's light enough to give you a nice photograph. You could probably overwrite it, but that might just give you that little red rectangle telling you that, well, I can take a picture, but it won't be a good picture.
Steady.
I think that's when it doesn't click. Yeah, some nice flowers once again. This is the Ginger Group hairdressing salon. There's the first click, and then the photograph. As I approach Johnson Street, I will decide whether I'm going to say bye-bye to the audience. Yeah, I think I am. So this is the Running Jackal
Distance 2.14 kilometers.
approaching the Johnson
Average heart rate
Street
92.
Bridge,
Average pace 10
about
minutes
to
41
record
seconds per kilometer.
the bonus trailer video saying bye-bye for the weekend show.